Hey guys, before I say anything else, I just want to say this list was super hard to make and I second guessed myself a ton and I changed this list a ton because I am super indecisive. So I'm not even saying this is the best top 10 wide receiver list because I could probably wake up tomorrow morning and have a totally different list. I don't know, this list was just so hard to make, like it really was. So number 10 on my list is DK Metcalf. And I was so close to putting AJ Brown at this number 10 spot. And I feel so bad not having him on this list because, I don't know, he really deserves to be on this list. So, I don't know, can I do like a tie for the number 10 spot? Because AJ Brown is a really great wide receiver, but I don't know. Just like I put DK Metcalf here, but just know AJ Brown is a great wide receiver who should be on this list, but there was only 10 spots. So DK Metcalf had 1,303 receiving yards last season and 10 touchdowns. DK, he's obviously a matchup nightmare because he's huge and he's so fast. Last season was only his second season in the NFL, so I'm expecting him to put up even bigger numbers as the seasons go on. At number 9 on my list is Michael Thomas, and let me just say this, it was very hard for me to decide where Michael Thomas should be on this list. Obviously, coming into last season, Thomas was arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL. He was coming off a record-breaking season, which he had 149 receptions, which is the NFL record for most receptions in a single season. He also had 1,725 receiving yards in that 2019 season. But last season, the 2020 season, Thomas, he dealt with injuries and he really didn't see the field a ton. He played in 7 games and only started in 5 of those games, and he really didn't look like his, 2019 self when he was out on the field. In the playoff game versus the Buccaneers, he didn't even have 1 reception. So things are going to be interesting this season for the Saints because Drew Brees obviously retired, and I'm just not comfortable putting Thomas higher on this list because I feel like this season is going to kind of be unpredictable for him and kind of unpredictable for the Saints as well because honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints were really good next year. I shouldn't say really good, well I should say good. I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints were good next year, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they're bad. Like, I don't know, just the Saints are an interesting team for this upcoming season. But yeah, just because of the way Michael Thomas' season went last season, I feel like I can't put him much higher on this list. At number 8 on my list is Mike Evans. So my favorite Mike Evans stat is that he's had at least 1,000 receiving yards in every single season he has played in the NFL, which is crazy. I think there was one season where he had like 1,001 receiving yard. It's just a cool stat. I really love that stat. So obviously Mike Evans has been a very consistent wide receiver since the day he stepped on an NFL field. Last season he had 13 touchdowns. The Bucs, they have one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver groups in the NFL. And despite all these talented wide receivers being on this Tampa Bay team, Mike Evans is consistently putting up big numbers. Coming in at number 7 is Justin Jefferson. So I know some people are going to say Jefferson is too high on this list or that he should be lower on this list, but I really think he is going to have an incredible 2021 season. His rookie season was record-breaking. He had 1,400 receiving yards, which is the most by any rookie in NFL history. He's really good at everything. He's a good route runner. He can make all the difficult catches, and he's pretty fast. And he's only going to be 22 next season, which is crazy because he's already playing like a veteran wide receiver. At number 6 is Allen Robinson, and it was tough for me to decide where to put Allen Robinson on this list because he is such a talented wide receiver, but the quarterback play for the Chicago Bears has not been good. But despite the bad quarterback play by the Chicago Bears quarterbacks, Allen Robinson is coming off back-to-back 1,000-yard receiving seasons. Also, we all know the Bears just drafted Justin Fields, so I feel like once Fields takes over as a starter, Allen Robinson's job is going to be easier. Allen Robinson, he's definitely been the best player on this Bears offense for the past few seasons. Coming in at number 5 is Julio Jones. So Jones was injured for part of last season. He only played 9 games, but he still had 771 receiving yards. We basically know at this point that Julio Jones is going to be traded. We just don't know where yet. And obviously, where he's traded will obviously affect, I guess, how he plays next season, because if he's going to a team that already has a lot of really solid wide receivers, he might not get as many targets. But if he goes to a team that, is really looking for that number 1 wide receiver like the Ravens, I feel like we could even see his numbers go up. I feel like if Julio stays healthy next season, he can definitely hit over 1,000 receiving yards, because the thing is, when Julio is on the field, despite him being older, he is still performing. Coming in at number 4 is Stefon Diggs. He led the league with 1,535 receiving yards last season and 127 receptions. He really had a great year last season. He was such a game changer for that Bills offense. The impact he had in his first season there was actually incredible. It's very clear that him and Josh Allen have a great connection, and their chemistry should carry this Bills offense for the next few years. At number 3 is Tyreek Hill. He can legit run past any defender on the field. He is so fast and he is so hard to cover. Do you guys remember that regular season game last season versus the Bucs, where in the first quarter he had 203 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns in just the first quarter? I mean, that's so crazy because that's not even video game numbers. Those numbers are crazy even if you're playing a video game. He's just so fast. He runs good routes. And I don't feel like we talk about his hands enough. He's made some pretty impressive and tough catches throughout his career. At number 2, I have Davante Adams. He led the league with 18 touchdowns last season. Adams is an amazing route runner. He had over 1,300 receiving yards last season too. I mean, it was really a career year for him last year. And if Aaron Rodgers does return to Green Bay, I don't see how him and Davante Adams are going to miss a beat. They both had a great season last year. They were a great duo, a really fun duo to watch, and I feel like if Aaron Rodgers does return to Green Bay, Davante Adams is going to put up just as great numbers as he did last season. Coming in at number 1, the best wide receiver in the NFL, in my opinion, is DeAndre Hopkins. He's been one of the best wide receivers in the league for a few years now. You throw the ball anywhere near him and he's going to catch it. He has great hands and is really just a matchup nightmare for cornerbacks because he's really good at everything. He's not the fastest guy, but he has the speed to get down the field. He uses his size to win in jump ball situations, and he's a great route runner. I just feel like DeAndre Hopkins isn't bad at anything. So that's it for this video, guys. Make sure you drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe. Peace out.